Hey everyone, how are you? Cynthia right here. We are on day 2 of our 5-day boot camp this week, how to be fit, fabulous, and fierce over 40. So I'm going to be with you for the next, what do we have left? 4 days, including today. And am excited to have you all here. So welcome back again. Let's go ahead and dive into our second topic. But before we do that, let me digress a little bit. And let's talk about homework. I asked all of you yesterday to share with me if you had completed yesterday's homework. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure I'm recording. Sec. Okay, there we go. All right. So I asked all of you yesterday to share with me that you did yesterday's homework in the comment section. So I did hear back from a few of you ladies. And yesterday's assignment was to do a 13-hour fast. So I just gave an example of going from closing your eating window at 7 p.m. and then reopening it again the next day at 8 a.m. So if you did that, congratulations. Awesome. You're on your first step on our journey to being fit, fabulous, and fierce over 40. So I do have a winner for today. So the winner for today is Dolores Wilson. So congratulations, Dolores, for completing your task, being our raffle winner for today. And I will be sending you a messenger message when we're done here and getting your email and sending you out a little drink on me from Starbucks. So anyway, so I hope you enjoy that. Okay, so for today, just want to go over what we're going to be doing again. So we're going to be meeting every day this week, Monday through Friday. We met yesterday. If you haven't watched the video from yesterday, you can go back and watch that in our Facebook community. And then also be posting them in my YouTube channel under podcasts. So I'm going to share with you my YouTube link in just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to meet for approximately 30 minutes each day. Today I don't have as much information, but the way I can talk, I know I can fill up 30 minutes. So 30 minutes today, and then I'm going to share with you my top 5 ways on how to live your healthiest life as you age. So today we're going to dive deep into a different topic today. We're going to talk about the step 2 of my 5-step program for helping women over 40 to live out their fit, fabulous, and fierce lifestyle as they age and yeah, and beyond, whatever that looks like. So today we're going to dive into something that's definitely overlooked and something that a lot of times we don't identify or we just don't even put a thought to. And what that is identifying our thoughts, identifying what types of thought patterns may lead to self-sabotage. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you're the type of person who has an anxious heart and always worried or tends to speak into or attract negative things into your life. And whenever you try to do something, there's something in the back of your mind and your heart of hearts that makes you think, oh, I'm going to do this, but I just know I'm going to fail. I'm not going to be successful because I never am. Or maybe it's more subtle. Maybe it's less overt. Maybe you're the person that does it without even realizing it, or that doesn't, it's just a part of your life and you don't realize it because it's how you've been responding to the world for years. And maybe you've heard your parents talk that way. Maybe they spoke to you that way in a negative way that, maybe you don't feel like you deserve good things. And even though you try really hard because you want something, but for whatever reason, subconsciously, you're not allowing yourself to have it. So in my course, the Ageless Body Blueprint, we dive into step 2 in depth. And I'm just going to give you a little overview today of some of the things that we talk about. My goal for this 5 days is to give you information that you can really glean from, that you can take with you, something that's really practical, that'll really help you on your wellness journey, whether you join me in our course group on February 5th or not. That's okay. I also offer one-on-one counseling if you need it. But anyway, either way, this is just for you to give you some information that you can take with you for the week. So, okay, so before we dive in, let's do another little get to know each other game. So today, my question for you is, so in the comments, if you're watching live or recorded, like I always say, make sure that you are commenting. So today's question is, so tell us where you're from. And then also tell us, would you rather take a week-long technology fast or a week-long social media detox instead? So if you could, would you rather, or do you feel like you need to take a week-long technology fast, just technology overall, or a social media detox instead? So let me know in the comments section what you feel like is going on there. So let me open my Facebook so I can see all of your beautiful faces or who's here today. Okay, so as we continue to dive in, go ahead and share that and let me know what you think. All right, let's see here. Here we go. So thank you all for being here, by the way. This is actually a really cool opportunity to learn together and hang out together and share together and learn a little bit of something new. So, all right, I found you all. Okay, so today, the goal for this week, actually for this time, this boot camp we have together, is my desire is to help women specifically over 40. Of course, you don't have to be over 40, over 40 and up to 99, 100 plus, help women over 40 to shed stubborn weight and to get lean and fit without sacrificing precious time with your spouse, with your kids or grandkids, and then to travel freely, to be confident, feel beautiful and sexy for your spouse, and have the energy and vitality to show up fully for your family and for God's calling on your life. So that is the goal for this week. My hope and my desire is for all of you to take something away this week that you can use in your everyday life. And then also that you can get some results from at the end. Maybe lose a pound or two. I know it's only a quick 5-day, but just to start to feeling better, just maybe getting some bloating down, maybe some inflammation, maybe you have joint pain, maybe that's starting to come down a little bit, better energy, right? Begin to balance out those hormones and just feel good overall. So that's the goal. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into step 2. So if you haven't yet, introduce yourself. Let us know where you're coming from in the comments, and also let me know if you'd rather take a technology fast for a week, or if you feel like you would rather or need a social media fast. And the funny thing is we're on social media right now. But fasting for that for a period of time to get your mind and body reset if you need it. Okay, let's dive in. So step 2. So yesterday we talked about step 1, which was, it was yesterday, we were talking about, today we're going to be talking about mindset and beliefs. And yesterday we were talking about the top 3 mistakes that women make when they're trying to lose body fat over 40. And then my number 1 tip, oh, did I lose it already? Oh, here we go. My number 1 tip was to detox your liver. There you go. For some reason, I just totally blanked. But yeah, so to detox your liver is step number 1 in this process. And detoxing your liver is super important so that you can start easily metabolizing body fat for fuel, using that energy coming out of carbohydrate burning and using our secondary energy source of fat burning. But your liver needs to be detoxed and cleared of excess carbohydrate storage and also excess toxins that are limiting it from metabolizing fats properly, which a clogged liver, I guess you would say, full of toxins would also cause elevated cholesterol levels. Again, elevated cholesterol is not a dietary issue. It's not the foods that you're eating. It's actually the condition of your liver. So if you can detoxify your liver, that'd be awesome. Yesterday, I shared a link in the comments with my 7-day liver detox meal plan that you can use. I'm actually doing it. I'm on day 2 myself right now with my husband. And we do that from the get-go with my Ageless Body Blueprint group. So I'd highly recommend that if you've never done it before. Okay, so step 2. Step 2 is we're going to focus on the importance of checking your mindset and the beliefs that you may have that keep you from making forward progress. And then also we're going to talk about stress management, which is kind of all encompassing. It's your mind, it's your will, it's your heart, and the things that are getting in you, the things that are getting in the way of yourself. So today, this is when this particular situation happens, is when you find yourself diving into a new weight loss program with lots of great intention and hope. But in the back of your mind, like I said earlier, there might be something lingering, some kind of fear that you would never be able to make it last. Like I always do this over and over again, but never lasts. Or maybe you do it and you end up in somehow can't speak, self-sabotaging your results, and then you give into foods that you weren't supposed to be eating, and now you've had that, and now you're feeling guilt and shame and remorse. What did I just do? Why did I just do that? And maybe because of it, you'll throw in the towel. You say, forget it, I'm done, and maybe lose hope and think, nothing works for me anymore, and go forward and binge on your forbidden foods, right? The forbidden foods from the diet that you were on. So when we're not addressing your beliefs and mindset, and this cycle continues, the self-sabotage mindset, you have not addressed the issues of the heart and the thoughts in your mind, right? So it's really important. I know one of my favorite scriptures is talks about anxiety, how to not, the recipe for not having an anxious heart by, instead of anxiety, present your request to God, let him know what you need more of in your life, let him know what you're lacking, let him know your fears, and then start listing gratitude, just being thankful, telling him what you're wanting more of in your life. And I would say 100% of the time, as soon as you start making a mental or verbal list out loud of all the things you're thankful for, that anxiety that you were feeling is going to start melting away. I know for me too, sometimes when I'm feeling anxious or busy or stressed, and I'll just punch, and it relieves some of that cortisol that's mount up. So we're going to talk about that more in just a minute. All right. So it's super important to understand that the things that were going on in our mind, in our heart with beliefs and mindset, that maybe you've been holding it back. And maybe sometimes you may be holding back because you're afraid of making change, right? Maybe you don't feel like you deserve the change and to look your absolute best and feel your absolute best. Maybe it makes you feel too vulnerable, or maybe you've been told in the past that, and you believe in your heart of hearts that you really aren't worthy of having or receiving good things. And sometimes vulnerability can come in because sometimes people who are overweight or have excess body fat tend to push people away, right? So the excess body fat on your structure is actually symbolic of keeping people away, and also physically carries a lot of toxins and just kind of keeps you stuck and sick. And then if your liver is full, it's going to be really difficult to metabolize body fat and lose the weight. So I know sometimes when women, do a weight loss program or do some kind of a diet program and they get close to their goal weight, sometimes self-sabotage because either they're like, oh, that's good enough, I'm fine, or just the change in their body is receiving too much attention and people are asking, oh, you look so great, what did you do? Or even male attention, maybe, wow, you look great, or wow, you look great for your age. And that's one that kills me. It's like, oh, you look great for your age. I guess that's okay, but can't you just look great just because you're treating yourself well? So sometimes just having people commenting on your body or asking questions or whatever puts a lot of pressure on you. Or maybe just looking a certain way, you just don't like to be looking better, right? Looking really good, being fit, fabulous, and fierce. And that idea sounds lovely, but in actuality, it's very vulnerable, right? It's kind of like strips you, right, of any protection you might have had in front of you. And now people are commenting or more aware of your presence. And that's hard. But honestly, it's okay. I shared a scripture, I think it was a couple weeks ago, about in Song of Solomon, how God talks about us as beautiful, and you're beautiful, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. And sometimes it's just hard for us to wrap our minds around that, because to be beautiful or to say that we're beautiful is very vulnerable. And people can think, oh, you're just conceited, you're full of yourself. Or we just might feel like, oh, I can't say that. That's just weird. Why would I tell people I'm beautiful? But it's the truth, right? Or maybe even just saying it to yourself, the truth of the beauty of who you are and whose you are, and what's inside you is what makes you beautiful, because you are crafted by the King of Kings, right? With his love, and he sees you as beautiful. So stepping into that can be difficult, challenging those negative beliefs about yourself, about your body, and replacing it with the truth of who you are and how beautiful that you were created and how beautiful you actually are. Okay, so with that, there is something else I wanted to share, something that I do go over in the Ageless Body Blueprint course. The difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. I think I have a slide for that. Let me check. So let me share so you can all see. Yeah, okay, and let me share my screen here. So a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, you might have heard of this before. It's kind of commonly shared. Let's see if I could find it for you. Yeah, okay. Yay, okay. So a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So sometimes this can be hard and sometimes it could be easy, right? Of course, depending on which side of the spectrum that you're on. So a fixed mindset is one that is intelligence is static, meaning nothing is changing, nothing is going anywhere, nothing is moving, right? You avoid challenges because a fixed mindset avoids challenges, just believes that things are too hard before even trying it. Maybe you expect a reward without effort. Maybe you ignore feedback from other people. And maybe you're threatened by success, the success of others, and it just makes you more frustrated. So you just decide not to do anything about it anyway. So, however, on the other end, we have, oops, I lost my slide. On the other end, we have a growth mindset, right? On the other side of the spectrum. And that is a mindset of a person who is intelligence can be developed. They're open to new ideas. They're ready to grow, right? And this is the type of person who is open to embracing challenges. They believe that they know, actually, they believe and know that they can train their brain. It's things are changeable, thoughts are changeable, beliefs are changeable. That effort is a path to mastery, right? I think I talked about a little about that yesterday. Is sometimes you just have to embrace the fact that in order to make change, you have to do something different and to create change. So you just can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, but you have to be open-minded and ready to embrace change and difficulty in making that change. All right, this type of person learns from feedback from others, and a growth mindset also is inspired by the success of others. So with that, to get back to my area here. Okay. So as you can see, just knowing your mindset and just seeing the dichotomy here between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset is really the foundation to this all, right? Before we even dive into talking about how to be fit, fabulous, and fierce, before we start diving into talking how to easily lose body fat when you're 40, how to change your diet, all these amazing things, we absolutely have to check ourselves, check our heart, and check your mind. Because if you dive right in without doing these things, it's going to take you right back to where you've been over the past, however many times you've tried dieting in the past. Or maybe you're doing diets in the past or specific eating styles or working out, and it's really worked for you. But now that you're older, it's not working quite the same anymore. So be open to change, be ready, know that it's sometimes going to take it is going to take some work to master something, and then learning from the feedback from others or education that you might get. So suppose your mindset is for you and you're ready to do the work and you're open and available to make change and make adjustments, that you're flexible and focused and coming at wellness with a self-care approach and love on set instead of approaching weight loss with fear and anger and frustration and shame and guilt and all those things, right? So a lot of times what I've noticed in my group as we discuss this is that going into a diet lifestyle is usually driven by fear or anger or frustration or punishment for doing something wrong or not being a good girl, right? But with a wellness lifestyle, you're open to new things, you're open to change, you are ready to get advice from other people. You know that it's not going to be the fast road, it's going to be a little bit slower. But just know that if you are being resistant against your body and trying to, just do the same thing, push against something that's just not budging, or just doing it out of anger and fear and frustration and all those things, then nothing's going to change, right? The more we push our bodies, the more we stress our bodies, the more resistant it's going to become, right? So like anything, if you kind of let it go and open your mind to new ideas and just start practicing new little skills moment by moment, meal by meal, you'll start noticing that change is happening. And usually as our bodies, we have a 28-day cell cycle. And it takes about that amount of time for our body to start cycling through, all of our cells. And let's say you've been doing a program for the past 28 days and you're like, oh, I'm starting to feel more energy, my bloating's going down, I'm starting to lose some weight, but or my body's changing, but you're not necessarily seeing the scale weight change. That's because everything is happening internally. It takes that long for your body to start adjusting. I know in modern medicine, all of us, and in modern world, all of us want things now. But the truth is, our bodies don't work that way. We work in a 28-day cell cycle or 40 days to make longer term change and to start developing new habits and routines, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. About 6 weeks to really dive in, or really to sink into that. And that's basically a new part of your lifestyle. Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about cortisol. So cortisol is the hormone that's excreted for fight or flight. Fight or flight meaning running, in ancient times, running to chase the bear, or running away from the bear, or fighting the bear, lion, what have you, basically the threat. So if you're feeling on a regular basis, on a chronic basis, that your stress is high, you have limited time, your trust is not there for certain people, or maybe you don't trust yourself, and the world is kind of scary, and it's kind of like it's all dependent on you, right? You need to be in control of things. It's going to make it much more difficult to lose body weight if your cortisol levels are high, right? When your cortisol levels are high, that means you're wanting to go into action. If you're feeling stressed, and the way you know your cortisol levels are high, if you're having heart palpitations, it's getting strong, maybe like a shortness of breath, that's how you know cortisol is running, right? When that's happening, you definitely don't want to sit down and go lie in bed. You want to get up and move. The cortisol hormone is designed to make you get up and attack, right? Get up and run to safety. So make sure that if you're feeling that way, sometimes, like I said, I like to punch, but I'm just sitting somewhere and I really don't have a chance to get up and go because I'm getting some things done. Or sometimes I punch on my legs. Or if you're driving, you can hold your steering wheel as tight as you can and then release. Hold as tight as you can and release. Just some ideas of what you can do when you feel that cortisol racing, but you just can't go for a walk or do a bunch of push-ups, to get your heart rate up. So making sure to keep, when you are feeling like your heart's beating fast and you are racing, do those things, get your body moving, go for a walk, get up and move around. But whatever you do, don't stay still, because you want to use that cortisol, because when cortisol levels are high circulating, they also metabolize in your liver. So when cortisol levels are high, it takes priority because it's for survival, right? And then other things, progesterone, and progesterone and dietary fats are metabolized as well of other things in your liver. So if cortisol is always streaming or regularly streaming through, it's getting priority. And then body fat and dietary fat is not getting metabolized thoroughly or properly or at all, and just continues circulating, as well as progesterone. If you're constantly stressed, progesterone, it just has to wait a minute, circle around in your bloodstream again until cortisol goes away or is metabolized, right? And then you can do that. So having elevated cortisol actually makes it more difficult to lose body fat, and actually promotes body fat deposition. So you're getting more deposits of body fat with the more stress you have in your life. So making sure you can either, kind of play the long-term game, and you can allow your body to rest and relax and condition your mind by doing some daily meditation or prayer. You can also do daily meditation and prayer, kind of reset your mind, so you're starting out with a place of peace in your mind. You can start with exercising first thing in the morning. Cortisol actually is elevated when you wake up in the morning. So when you wake up, sometimes I like to do, some push-ups or some body weight squats, maybe, 50 body weight squats. I don't necessarily do them all in a row, but just to utilize that cortisol that's waking you up in the morning. That's what it's designed to do. And as the day goes by, cortisol levels get depleted, right? And then melatonin comes up, so that way you can start falling asleep. But if cortisol is up, it's going to throw off your hormones balance. And then it's going to be harder to, maybe not so hard to fall asleep, but harder to stay asleep and get a full night's rest. So mindset, beliefs, understanding where your heart is at, super important to know, as before we dive into me teaching you how to lose body fat over 40. All right, stress can also deplete. So it depletes progesterone, leading to estrogen dominance and adrenal fatigue, which triggers fat deposition. It can lead to chronic fatigue, muscle and joint pain, headaches. And then just doing those exercises I told you is such a huge benefit. It can change the outcome of the progress that you're making, of the work that you're doing, and you're going to feel so much better. And did you know that 98% of disease, you might have heard this before, 98% of disease is actually caused by stress? So if we, and not using cortisol, so I encourage you to use it. If your body's too tired and just too overwhelmed, sometimes exercise can be too much stress. So just going for a walk or doing some yoga or doing some deep breathing, something maybe more meditative will be more healing to bring cortisol levels down. Okay, so the other thing too is gut health is also affected by stress. So many diseases of gut inflammation are caused by chronic stress with little or no outlets, leading to gut abdominal pain, gas, bloating, inflammation, trouble eating and digesting food, including constipation and diarrhea, and also can deplete your immune system. It can also lower levels of serotonin and oxytocin. Those are the reward centers and the relational centers of your brain where you crave time with people. You get rewarded for doing good things mentally, right? You get this like little hit of dopamine or cortisol. You feel rewarded for doing something well for yourself, right? And also oxytocin is that like that cozy, comfy, nurtured, comforting type hormone. Those can be depleted also with stress. It also can cause brain fog, trouble with recall, and accelerating the aging process overall. So stress is inflammatory. Cortisol is inflammatory, it causes inflammation. So the root of all of these conditions I just described is internal inflammation. Okay, so if we can get a handle of stress, we can start to understand our type of mindset, then we can start to live out that fabulous life that I'm going to teach you how to do. So most people don't do this because they don't know where to start or what to do, or they look at the symptoms and start with daily prayer, meditation, a walk, or some strenuous exercise to get their heart pumping and using cortisol as needed. So knowing what to do now you're responsible to take care of yourself, right? A lot of times we may know what to do, but actually doing it is the hardest part, right? But if you can conquer the doing it, you're probably, I don't know, 100 steps ahead of the average person. Me sharing with this with you and you watching this video is going to move you that much further ahead than the average person. All right, like I said, with cortisol, make sure to move your body. Don't be still. Go and move it, and or do some deep breathing. Okay, so let me share with you a testimonial from my group of this kind of thing. My friend and participant, Lindsay, let me see if I can find her slide. Lindsay Booz was so amazing because when I first met with her, let's see if I can share this. When I first met with her, actually, our boys played baseball together, and we were talking at the end of summer last year, probably even early fall, actually end of summer. And we were noticing that, she just wasn't feeling well. And I thought, okay, Lindsay, what's going on? And she was telling me that, she's just been having so much gut pain, so much inflammation, so stressed with work. And the more she was doing with work, the worse she was feeling. And then one day I told her, I was like, you know what? I would love for you to join our group. This would be such an amazing opportunity for you. And I described it all to her, and she was super excited. Whoops. She was super excited to do this with us and got her started. So she shared with me, I'm going to read what the text that she shared with me. So she shared, she said, okay, I'm down 3 pounds. And it really, for her, it really wasn't about the scale. She said, well, yes, maybe somewhat, but how I feel, and I feel really good. So that was so cool because she was super excited to share it, but also she texted me a couple times. Hang on, let me go back to her. Let me go back to her testimony. There we go. So this was within, when she said this to me, this was only within like the first 2 weeks of her diving into the Ageless Body Blueprint course group. And I check in with them once in a while, and I honestly was surprised. I even asked her, how long have you been doing this for? That she'd only been doing this for a couple of weeks, and she was already starting to lose extra weight. But she was just feeling really good. Her bloating was down, her discomfort, just when eating was down, she could eat more food and have more energy. So I was just super proud of her. And this is just one of many. I'm going to share more testimonials with you as we go, but um, I just wanted to highlight her because it goes in alignment with how somebody can feel stressed and overwhelmed and tired and cortisol up and bloating and all those things, but just implementing some of the things I'm going to share with you tomorrow, actually, be sharing about fasting and healthy nutrition. You'll start to see how this all comes into play. So yeah. Okay, let me stop the share. Okay, so let me finish up here. Okay, so remember that when you speak to yourself, that your body is listening. Okay, whether you have internal dialogue, whether you're saying something out loud, how you speak to yourself would determine the rate or the amount of outcome that you're going to receive, right? So there was a study that was done by a physician, a Japanese physician, Dr. Masaru Emoto. I'm probably saying it wrong. Masaru, there you go, Masaru Emoto. And he did some amazing study. Some of you may have heard this, some of you may have not, but with water. So he felt like he wanted to understand how and why, or if water has memory. And I'll share the video with you. Actually, I have it here, but it takes a little bit too long for today, but I'll share it with you in the comments. But take a look at it. And you're going to see how he had water in petri dishes. And he and his researchers were speaking to it. They had an area where they're speaking love and truth and gratitude and hope and all these beautiful things into the water. And then they put it in the freezer. And when they took it out, they saw under the microscope, they saw these amazing, beautiful crystal symmetric formations that were formed, right? And then they did the same thing in the opposite. They were taking petri dishes with water and then speaking hatred, speaking fear, speaking loathing, speaking you're ugly, you're horrible, all these horrible things to the water. And then same thing, putting these petri dishes in the freezer. And guess what? They looked under the microscope and they were deformed shapes. They were like jagged and rough and not symmetrical at all. They were all over the place, right? Kind of hectic, kind of how we feel when we're stressed. But if you think about it, that's water, but how much of our body is composed of water, right? So the truth is about 60 to 70% of our body is composed of water. So and how much more do our cells actually contain memory as well. We have cellular memory. And it may be in your subconscious, it may be stored back for a while, but we still have these cellular memories. And sometimes I remember learning from a massage therapist years ago, sometimes she would massage a new client or somebody she's been even seeing for a little while and notice that they start crying when she's massaging their neck. And she was telling me it's because we have cellular memory. They're stored memories in our cells all throughout our body that carry positive or negative memories, right? So what I'd like you to do is, if you have a moment, this week or today, this isn't your homework, but to take a look at maybe your beliefs, maybe some things that kind of start challenging them, some of those I am statements, like saying the truth of who you are and then writing down what you believe you are and seeing the differences, right? You can take out a pen and paper, you can put a line in between the paper, say, I am truths for what God says about me, what my family says about me, and I am truths about what I think about me, how I feel about myself. And just see the dichotomy right there. And that's going to show you and highlight those things in your life that you really need to start honing in on. Maybe you can even number them, from the most often to least often, like 1 to 10 or however many you have, and focus on the one that you feel like you say to yourself most often. And probably the hardest thing to do is to say positive things about yourself. I don't know why that is, but somehow that's a thing. When the truth is the truth of who you actually are is what we need to be saying to ourselves. So just something to think about and consider. So today, as we are going to be finishing up day 2, but now diving into day 3, and tomorrow I'm going to be sharing with you specifically about how to apply fasting and manage healthy feasting principles daily to manage stress, to manage cravings, to lose body fat. And I'm going to talk to you about 2 different metabolic types that is super important to understand so that you can get the results that you need. Okay. All right. So I shared a little bit about the Ageless Body Blueprint course as throughout, but if you're interested in it, some of the things that you'll achieve that we've seen so many times in my test group and all these rounds that we've been doing together is brain clarity. These are things that women have achieved in our group. So brain clarity, hormone balance, releasing excess toxins and body fat, restored gut health, reduced cholesterol, increased muscle and mobility, which is amazing, enhanced immune system, decreasing inflammation in your joints and joint pain, restored blood sugar. I loved it when I heard that one. And then peace, of course, peace, feeling restful and feeling confident, leading this change in love, not out of fear, but leading the behaviors that you're going to be implementing and learning with love and patience and learning how to be more resilient, getting back up when you fall down and moving forward in love together. So registration's open. If you want to know more about that, let me know. You can send me a private message for details. I'm more than happy to explain. The other thing I will let you know too before I go is that I do have, for anybody who's watching this or anybody in my Facebook community, age over 40, fit, fabulous, and fierce over 40 group, that you have available from me a free 30-minute nutrition evaluation. If you have some questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. I can kind of go through a little bit of an audit of your nutrition and fitness and see what kinds of things you might need to change or tweak to get the results that you want. And then I can help give you some tips to take with you that session and then help to move you in the right direction and give you the right, I guess, point you in the right direction for the things that you're actually needing in the moment. Okay. So that's open. And what else? Yeah, and I'll share with you the link to register if you'd like to do that on your own. I have a link where you can look at my schedule and register a time that works for you. When you open that link, just make sure you're looking at selecting the one that says complimentary 30-minute nutrition evaluation. So open my link for my schedule, look for complimentary 30-minute nutrition evaluation, click on there, and then you can schedule a time for my availability that I have there. So, okay, today's homework assignment, let's do that too. Today's homework assignment is, I would love for you to continue to fast. So today I'd like you to fast for 13 to 14 hours. So that could be 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then if you're more of an experienced faster, you want to push it a little bit, I would definitely challenge you to go 16 today. So that would be closing your eating window at 7 p.m. and then reopening it tomorrow at 11 a.m. Okay, so it's 16 hours, 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. And then make sure to add in with your nutrition a healthy fat into each of your meals, whether that's avocado or olives or olive oil. You can even have some whole butter, some regular, grass-fed butter if you can find it, avocado, coconut oil, even maybe some nuts or just some healthy oils. So add those in. That's what your assignment for today is, to continue fasting either 13, 14, or 16 hours. And then also nutrition-wise, add in some healthy fats. The reason why we do the healthy fats is a couple reasons. It helps you to fast longer the next day with healthy fats on board because it's keeping your blood sugar lower and more manageable. And if your blood sugar is lower, you're going to be hungry, not as hungry the next day. So I just want you to start experimenting with that. We're going to do a lot more of that tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So if you are watching this and you're loving what you're learning, I also, like I said, have a YouTube channel, so you can go there. I'll share with you the link for my YouTube channel, and I have a whole video library of content information over the years that I share there, and I hope that it blesses you all. So have a fantastic day. Make sure to do your homework. I will put you in the raffle. Comment in the comment section that you've completed the homework for today, a 13 to 14 or 16-hour fast, adding in healthy fats, and I will keep a lookout for that. Thanks again for being here. And invite a friend if you know somebody who may want to join. This is free. It's open to the public. Anybody's welcome. It's not just for people in this group. Anybody who feel they can benefit, even men. It's okay with me. So anyway, all right, have a beautiful day, and I hope that helped. Take care. Bye.